Welcome to Vice Grip Garage. On this episode, we're going to do some AB3s of maintenance. What's that? Maintenance? Apparently you just do regular things and it helps it be better. Every good maintenance session should start with the old battery on the charger. And we've got the really good Walmart chargers and you got to run them full throttle, you know. So she's over on the bench doing that. One thing I failed to mention when we brought this beauty home is she wasn't charging at all. And we went through batteries like you wouldn't believe. So we're going to put an old alternator in her. And that one's off a Massey Ferguson. She's only a 55 amp, but we'll make her work. And then also the starter's bad. If you watch the cold start videos and some of the other stuff, you could tell the starter's bad because of the way that it is. And then we've also got a surprise bag of goodies. This is the central. These are some things that I think should have been factory on the old truck, but I call it a factormizing, which is customizing some factory options. So we're going to do that as well. And if I'm not sleeping by the time that's done, I think we're going to change the oil because apparently that's a thing to do. Well, at least it's not a negative 105 out. Hey, do me a big favor. Before I tell you a thing or two about a thing or two in alternators, go ahead and hit subscribe and ding the little bell thingy too. Apparently that helps the feller out a little bit. So, two ways to test the alternator. There's the really complicated way, which is using one of those digital voltmeters. And you put it on the vice grip doing a burnout symbol, and you ground her out, hit the old charge wire here, and you should get some voltage out of the old girl. Preferably 12 volt if you've got a 12 volt system. But here's the old trick the Pops taught me. And you got to disconnect your 12-inch boom booms and your undercarriage neon lights and all that crap that no one cares about. But if you've got the basic ignition system running, truck or car is nice and warm and idling, and you unhook the old battery, your alternator or generator should produce enough voltage to run your ignition and keep the motor running. It might sputter and jumble around on a feller, but it should run. If you pull the old battery off and she immediately dies on you, she's bad. Time to go. All right, let's get this out. Well, I already had to send everybody to lunch on the old production floor here because I ran into these washers and it just blew my mind. I figured you'd want to get in here and see this. So let me see if I can figure this. There we go. So looks like we had a standard issue fender washer, but fella realized it was hitting the old whirly-woo here, so he just zing-zanged her off and positioned them just correctly, and that's how we ended up with this. I really don't know who the guy was that owned this truck before me, but dang, I could drink a beer with him. This is just some good. Look at this. Excellent. Yeah, I find it kind of funny sometimes how when you buy the wrong parts, they just don't fit. You just gotta ease them in there. You just take your easer Fits now. Oh, I even got, that's even gonna line up, and I got a factory bolt. I'll be dipped. Something really important we gotta talk about here is belt tension. It's vital. And there's too much, not enough, and way too much. And what you're gonna need is belt tensioner 300. And of course your wrench. Here we go. And you just take your belt tensioner and you just want to delicately get her in here. There we go, or you can get some. And the plan here is to use as much back as possible. And you just get back like this, and then you just got to bring her down. How much tension? You just keep going until your C7 back here pops. Like that. And you're done. Yeah, and what you're looking for is a nice E off your belt. Just like that. That's just enough tension. I really want to shut it down for the night, but I suppose I better get that starter put in. Well, we're definitely going to pretend that I didn't just see that wheel cylinder leaking, and we're just going to power forward with the old starter, I think. Well, the first thing a guy wants to do once he gets under here and lays for a few minutes is you just want to get your eyeballs on the situation. And if you guys have been down here before with a vehicle with headers on, you know that it's either going to work or it's not gonna. And I'm not going to pull headers. I think we just might be able to get this guy out of here. And I'm really looking forward to this oil leak coming down. Looks like a rear main, but we're gonna ignore that too. And just put some Red Devil or some Zeus oil in her. Wow, they even got some homemade washers on the old start. I thought I'd just bring you down on in here. And another way to tell your starter's bad is if the whole side of it is just blown off, and you just keep stacking washers up here to try to ease her into it. Let's go ahead and replace this with some more gooder stuff. Oh, hey. H-pipe, that's 9 horsepower. I found over the years, you know, I've got so much junk that I put starters in about everything I own. I don't disconnect anything. I just let her slam down on the old wiring. And then once she's hanging there and ruining everything, that's when you disconnect the digitals. Just seems to be an easier process for me. Just like that. This particular unit, she's been customized and got some zip ties hanging off the old dipstick tube and hanging her up there, which looks like they probably did just like this to put it in. Pretty smart. Boy, people get really excited about these oil changes. So we're going to go ahead and perform one as well. This is probably going to miss the pan. We'll look for some metal. Other than that, I don't really care. Growing up on the farm, we would just take the stuff out of the buckets in the corner that had all the hay and what have you in it. Boy, that's thick. That's how you know it's cold out, when you got honey running out of the oil pan. No metal on the magnet. That's all I care about. As So I'll go dig up some oil for it. For whatever reason, I do get asked pretty often what kind of oil I run in some of these rigs. And it's the good stuff, which is whatever is on sale. This particular case, it's 1540 diesel oil. We're going to go ahead and snag in here. That should work pretty good. Well, this is going pretty good. We're down to some factormizing, and we'll be done. Step one is really obvious, but I'm going to show you anyway. And I better not have to explain it. Boom. And don't let me catch you just running one. Second thing the guy's got to do is take care of the shift knob situation. Out with that. In with this. Well, we maintenance the snot out of this thing. I'm out of ideas of things to do to it, to be honest. Make sure you stay tuned, because we may or may not be putting a stupid amount of money into the suspension on this turd. Thanks for watching.